Hello, and welcome to Creating Movement Mondays. I'm your host, Representative Chelsea Branham. I serve House District 83 here in Oklahoma City and Edmond, and this is a Zoomcast. Creates a space for Black, Indigenous, and other people of color to be able to share their viewpoints from where they're situated and be able to talk about relevant issues by answering 4 questions and also posing a question to those that are listening. I am very honored to have one of my best friends, Violetta Mumford, here with us today, and she's going to take us all to school. And Vi, if you would tell us a little bit about yourself before we get started, I'm sure that we would all love to hear what you're doing these days.
Thank you for having me. I am Violetta Mumford. I go by Vi. Had the pleasure of meeting Chelsea when I worked at the YWCA Oklahoma City. I am a lifelong Oklahoman, born and raised here. Graduated from Midwest City High School and then later from Langston University. I'm currently working at the Oklahoma State Department of Health as a business manager. Yeah, a little bit about me.
Well, I appreciate you letting me turn you into one of the first people to take a chance and do this with me. I know it's going to be the best, so we'll go ahead and jump right into the questions. So the first one is really centered around there's a lot happening right now, right? We're in the middle of a pandemic. We've been in the middle of a pandemic for Black and Brown lives for ever and ever. And so, what one word really encapsulates how you're feeling in this moment in time that we're in?
I would have to say determined, especially in the middle of the pandemic. I'm determined to help flatten the curve. So if that means wearing masks and at home following the CDC guidance, not necessarily the politicians that have, influence, but these professionals that went to school, the epidemiologists. And as for Black and Brown people, I'm still determined. I'm determined to help move the needle any way that I can. Not sure exactly what that will look like or what all that will entail, but I'm definitely determined to try to do something to help all of us.
I love that you talked about systemic and interpersonal responsibility, right? Because individuals that make up a system or perpetuate a system, and it really does take more than words. It takes actions, and it takes everyone trying to make things different. So I love that you kind of touched on both of those things. So that brings me to my next question. There have been a lot of people, there's been an outpouring of words and people saying that they support Black lives and other people of color. So how is it that you personally like for non-Black people to show up for you?
I most appreciate when people show up with the true understanding that they may understand what's happening in this moment, but they'll never understand my true Black experience being a Black woman. And I myself, though I am a Black woman, I am an ally to other populations that need me. Pride Month just ended. I have an ally shirt. I'm an ally. Working in domestic violence and sexual assault. Though some of the clients I interacted with, I didn't witness or have a firsthand experience with what happened to them, but I showed up open-minded, listening to what happened to them and not trying to say, oh, well, I know exactly what happened because, domestic violence, there's a science, there's a cycle, there's a honeymoon. I don't need that. They just need you to be present and understand that you will never fully understand the full experience, but show up and listen. Like, just your words sometimes are more harmful. If you don't know what to say nothing. Because you're given a little bit of this, and it's like, well, my story is this big. So sometimes silence is golden. And I know they say silence is compliance, especially when it comes to violence. But sometimes if you don't know what to say nothing. Just support, just show up and understand that you don't understand everything.
I think that there's a lot of people that don't know what to do, which direction to go. And I think that the one thing that we don't talk about when we talk about silence is compliance is that silence, breaking that silence is action, right? You have to break that silence by changing something, not just by saying words.
Yeah. You said that, but what did you do? Nothing. So you should have said nothing and did something.
So I'm going to take a pause here and give you an opportunity to talk about this moment that we're in. It seems to be, another point in time where non-people of color are paying attention to the struggles that Black and Indigenous and other people of color have been going through. We've seen these moments before. How can we galvanize this moment that we're in right now and see more than just an awareness and move to the types of positive, lasting change for people of color that they're dying for right now?
Since they are paying attention, I think they need to remember that you see a story on the news about one individual, but there may be someone in your life, like I can easily become a hashtag. I am a Black woman, I am single, I don't have any children. I can easily become a hashtag myself. So if we're paying attention, if I look to my right, my left, my girlfriends are all women of color. What would I do to stop them from becoming a hashtag? Will I go and vote in their best interest? Will I look into ways to maybe repurpose some of the money as a city planner to invest in social services? Looking around and seeing that what you see on TV and the hashtags and the Black Lives Matter, we matter, yes, but there's people that make up those lives. And it's like, if you are paying attention and you know that you're my friend, you work with Vi, and Vi could easily become a hashtag. What are you willing to do to make sure the people in your life that you love, that you care about, aren't one of these people that become a hashtag? So are you willing to take those steps to make sure that you're voting in our best interest, that you're understanding that profiling is a real thing and it's not something that we're making up? The microaggressions at work, like it goes so deep. There's so much we all can do, but you have to step back and look at it and look at yourself. And I don't think a lot of people are ready to use that self-reflection to see what they picked up and what they need to unlearn to help move the needle in the best interest of all of us.
Yeah, I think that we're certainly in a time where everyone wants to point and say that the big place or the other is like the ultimate cause, but not as willing to take a look at what we're doing individually, and everyone is contributing to it in some way or another, upholding systems of oppression, whether they're doing that purposely or not. And it really takes solid work from all of us to make a difference and to, change the way that people are having to live and not live in fear. So I love that. So I'm going to give you an opportunity before I ask the last question to ask a question of those that are tuning in right now and listening. What's one thing that you would ask of them or ask them to
answer? Since you are paying attention, what can you name one thing that you've done besides a post or a share that has helped move the needle, or that you think has helped move the needle in protecting Black and brown lives? Real action. What real action have you taken?
Powerful. And more than one, right? A lifetime of those actions. Okay, final question. I'm going. Sorry, I'm gonna close this out with trying to recenter and focus on self-care. There's a lot going on right now, and it can be difficult to take care of ourselves and feel okay. So I want to know what it is that you kind of go back to one thing that gives you hope in all of this that helps you kind of keep moving on day after day?
The girls that I mentor, they are teenage girls, and I am absolutely crazy about them. They're also different, also powerful in their own right, and they're paying attention. They are light years ahead of me when I was 14 and 15, thinking about other things, and not, political things, how this impacts our future. Like, they are just amazing. And knowing that if I can give them a little piece of what I wish I would have known then to help them get a little further, um, like, that just gives me so much hope. Like, that's so wonderful.
So I've worked with a lot of kids myself, and I will echo that kids give me a lot more hope than a lot that I work with. So I am glad that they are paying attention and that they have that access of information that not even we had when we were growing up. We were starting to get it, but it's in their hands all the time. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah, Alice and AOL. Quite different.
Now until the day that I die. So, well, I love you. I appreciate you here and taking the space to elevate your voice. And I will direct everyone to follow and contribute to you in any way that they can. And do you have any final words before we close out?
I love you. I am proud of you. Thank you for illuminating the voices that are, sometimes overlooked but are still there. You shared a post about giving voice to the voiceless and not voiceless. They just haven't had the mic. So I appreciate you. Thank you for all that you do. Keep going. Go get them again. And I'm here for you.
Thank you for tuning in. I hope that you'll continue to listen to Black, Indigenous, and other people of color's voices because she's right. They have been there the whole time, and it's time